Are we live? Let's find out. I don't know. Hold on. I hope we are. I gotta check these things. Oh, girl. Okay, I am live. All right, cool. Hi, friends. It's been pushing 2 weeks. I'm sure you guys have missed the. I can't even talk. Don't even. Sidebar. The one thing they don't tell you about being a content creator, especially one that talks about sports, is you have to talk so much. Like, so much. Oh. Anyways, that's fine. Happy to be here. Let's start with reading updates because I can get through those quickly. July was a slow month for me, child. I don't even know if I don't even feel like I finished a book. I know I did. I think I did anyway. I'm sure I finished one book. I had to have finished a book. Or did I? Let me look. Let me just check my Storygraph real quick. Just see. Oh, Storygraph said I read 6 books. I was doing good. Didn't even know it. Oh, I did read all of these. Okay, cool. Guess y'all will find out what I read. I'll make a post about it. Maybe, maybe not. Actually, one of the books I read was True Biz, which I think I told y'all that actually on my last one, because I read it a couple weeks ago. Anne Francine's Spectacular Crash and Burn, great book. Everyone should read it. It's very, if you love chaotic and messy women, or if you support women's rights and women's wrongs, you will like Francine. So that's what I do. I'm still reading Necessary Fiction and Ace. I actually have the audiobook of this one. I have like 4 chapters left. And this one, this doesn't look like it's been read because I'm reading the ARC version. But this is a very good book. And I did make a reading vlog about it that I haven't uploaded, but it will be uploaded because this is a pretty good book. It's just taking me, I don't know, both of these are just taking me a while to get through. And I think it's because I know I have to like lock in to read them. And I just haven't been all the way there. Not gonna lie. But I'm gonna finish at least one of these this week. Like, even if I have to force myself, which I probably will force myself to finish this one. This one, we might pause and just pick something else up. But I don't know. I want to finish both of them so I can just start fresh and just read something new. Because they are books that I'm enjoying, but I don't want to be on them forever. Anyway, those are reading updates. Not too much happening there. Basketball up stuff. We've reached the halfway year in the halfway point in the WNBA season. Well, a little bit beyond half at this point. And what do I want to tell you guys? Things that are happening right now. Oh, today we found out that Fee is going to be out for the next 2 weeks, which I think the Lynx only have to play like 8 games, and 3 of them are against the New York Liberty. This is why the scheduling has to be better. I know people like to talk about the like the times that games are played, and yes, we do need to stop whacking Kathy and start whacking those platforms for the time that those games come on. But we do need to do something about this scheduling, because I don't know, I just don't think the Lynx and the Liberty should be playing each other 4 times in August. Like, we have enough teams, and you have charter flights now, so you really don't have an excuse to like stretch this out. In the same way that the Fever played the Dream, like we played them 4 times before All-Star break, like, or maybe 3 times before the All-Star break. Actually, I don't think we're playing them again. So it's just like, that shouldn't happen, you know? There are enough teams for you to play one half at the beginning of the year and the other half at the other, I mean, not one half, but, you know, you have to play each team 4 times, 3 or 4 times. So that's enough diversity for you to put, you know, 1 or 2 games in the first half and 1 or 2 games in the second half. There's no reason you should be playing the same team 4 times in 2 weeks. Like, they do the same thing with Chicago and the Lynx. Dallas and the Lynx were playing, I feel like it was playing every day. Good Lord. LA and the Valkyries. We just got to fix the schedule thing. So that's one of my points of contention. But I guess it is kind of, it's good news for Fee because they said her injury, I think it's just an ankle sprain, which is like an ankle sprain is a serious injury, but it could be worse. So, good for her. The big news about the Lynx is that Dejanay Carrington got traded to the Lynx, and the Dallas Wings got Carly Samuelson, Diamond Miller, and a 2027 second round pick. I kind of talked about this on TikTok already. Just when you talk so much, you start losing your voice. Anyway, I kind of talked about this on TikTok a little bit, but to reiterate myself, I think it's a good deal for both sides. Contrary to popular belief, I don't understand why people didn't think that the Dallas Wings, a team who only brought back 3 players from the previous year, they legitimately only had 3 players from the previous year, wasn't in a rebuild. Like, I don't know why they didn't think that was a thing, but it's, if it wasn't a thing before, it's for sure a thing now. That they're in a rebuild, and I do love their commitment to the rebuild. And I mean, I know people, I've already defended all of the rookie coaches, especially Chris Coughlin, I feel like, with my life at this point. But I do love his willingness to just try things, you know, to see what works, see what doesn't work. I do think some of, obviously, the rotations could be a little bit better, and we could be seeing a little bit more. But, like, I saw people were mad in the last game that Enrique didn't play in the 4th quarter. When they played the Fever, the Enrique didn't play in the 4th quarter. And they were like, well, why didn't she play? And he was just like, I like the group that I had out there, which was his 3 rookies, plus Haley and Leroux and Louisa were switched out at some point. And people were mad at that, and I get that. And I think, you know, maybe there was an opportunity when they realized that they were struggling to defend some. Maybe you put Enrique in just to help. Like, I mean, Enrique isn't a superb defender, but I don't know. It was, again, something that you could have just tried. But I do appreciate him, like, kind of letting them rock, because they did, the rookies, with people, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I'm the only person who watched that game for real, because the rookies, when he put them in, they went on a run. They went on a run so much so that the Fever had to call a timeout and be like, all right, hold on, y'all. Like, we got to remember to close this game out. Obviously, the Fever gathered themselves and they closed the game out. But they weren't playing bad. And honestly, I'm pretty sure the Wings actually ended up outscoring us in that final quarter. But, I mean, we already had a good lead and we maintained. So we did enough to survive. But imagine if they had done more. So anyway, I wasn't mad about that. I think, again, I like coaches to just try stuff. Like, you got nothing to lose. Like, y'all have already lost 20 games. Like, you're not getting them back. So, like, anyway, the Wings, I think, is fine. I'm going to be excited to see what they do with Diamond Miller and, like, how much time she get. I feel like Cheryl was being very stubborn and not playing her, which is crazy because I feel like oftentimes when the Lynx needed a punch, she put Diamond in and she did just that. And she just didn't get any more minutes beyond that. So that's kind of annoying to me, but what can you do? But to say, I'm excited to see what I'm excited to see what she gets to do, what Diamond gets to do with some space and opportunity in Dallas. The Wings did waive Carly Samuelson because they need the roster spot. And they're going to sign, well, we don't know who they're going to sign on a 7-day contract, but they do plan to sign somebody. My least favorite part is still the fact that they waived Teaira McCowan. And I kind of hate the narratives around Teaira McCowan because I know people like to say she's lazy and she's a bad defender and she don't try hard and yada, yada, yada. And it's just like, I honestly, like last season, I could absolutely see that and say that, and I could be like, all right. But this season, especially post her coming back from Turkey, I just don't recall seeing that. And when I look at her box score numbers, she was legitimately averaging 5 points and 4 rebounds in 12 minutes, which is essentially, she played 1 quarter and put up, she's halfway to a double-double, bro. Like, you just, to me, you cannot, I don't know. I don't know. I hate the narratives around her, and I absolutely think that she can be somebody that is useful to a team. One of the things that I was telling my podcast host, follow Pull Up 3, obviously. I don't know if I've ever said that on here. But anyway, one of the things I was telling them is that, dang, I just lost my train of thought. I know we talked about her being good for a contender. Oh, I know what it was. I don't think I told them. Actually, I think I might have tweeted this. I don't know where I said this, but somewhere I said this. There are a lot of teams now are trying to go toward that running on offense, like trying to beat teams in transition, shooting a bunch of threes. Like, a lot of teams are looking at that as an offense, and a lot of them are missing real back to the basket bigs. And I feel like Atlanta has shown us that you can do both, and having a back to the basket big, whether that's Bree Jones or Brittany Griner, you have a bailout plan. Like, they can save you. And if they're serious, if your back to the basket big is serious about rebounding, like that, it's just super beneficial to you. So I don't see why you don't do that. I don't see why teams don't invest in at least one. So in Teaira's that, again, honestly, I really don't care about the critiques about her. Like, I just don't think that she's a player that you could just like waste or just like not play. Same thing that was happening with Kalani Brown in Phoenix. She ended up starting, but it's like, your team is struggling with rebounding. Put the lady that's 6'7" in there. Hello? Like, I didn't think that was rocket science. And look, they put the 6'7" lady in there, and the rebounding got better. Who would have thought? And so, yeah, I think Teaira McCowan will be great on some other team. I really hope she gets picked up. She has to wait 7 days to clear waivers, which I'm sure she will, because her contract is kind of big. And you know what? If Dallas got to pay her out, fine. That's what they get. But anyway, that's that. On the Lynx side with Dejanay, I feel like a lot of people are being unfair to both Dejanay, but also the Dallas Wings, but also it's just like a lot of unfairness happening here. Mostly because DJ Carrington is not a bad player, right? She's one of the best perimeter defenders in the WNBA. However, Dejanay struggles on offense. This has been true always. Not in college. She's not in college, but since she got to the W, she's been struggling with offense. And maybe that some of it is, you know, all the knee surgery she's been through, and just, you know, all of that has like kind of taken some of that confidence away. But DiJonai has always needed some offense to help, right? She's that's always where she needed to take a step. And the thing that I did tweet earlier is that the Dallas Wings thought that they could elevate DiJonai Carrington to a superstar. Not a superstar, but just a star, right? You have a matchup nightmare in Enrique, your best perimeter defender, and DiJonai, quintessential 3-and-D, right? And then you got Paige Beckers, who can just literally do any and everything, right? And I think they thought that they could elevate her, and it just didn't happen. And I think most of it is because DiJonai plays entirely too fast. I feel like sometimes you can see that like she had a thought and her body started moving as soon as the thought happened, but but in the midst of doing it, she didn't think completely through what she was gonna do. So now she's starting to make mistakes. And I feel like that's kind of been her problem even last year when she was MIP. She got a lot of credit for cleaning that stuff up, for like finishing layups and all of that kind of stuff. But we also have to remember she was on a team with Alyssa Thomas, DeWanna Bonner, Bree Jones, and Ty Harris. So kind of people to like clean up after her, quote unquote, right? Like she didn't have to score. So when she did, it was like a nice addition. She didn't have that in Dallas. In Dallas, she had to score. Like if she wanted to be on the floor, they needed her offensive output. And she just, in my opinion, wasn't quite ready for that. I ain't gonna say she wasn't ready for that, because I think like a lot of people booed Chris Koulanis for having her on ball and getting her those reps, but she needs those reps. Like if she's gonna be an offensive threat, she needs those reps. Sometimes it was hard to watch. It was, I won't lie, but she needed those reps, and I think though they will be beneficial to her in Minnesota. Minnesota will probably bear the fruits of the labor that was in Dallas, because you need to do those things in real time to get a better understanding of how to actually execute them, right? Like you have to make those mistakes. So anyway, I think Dallas had high expectations for her. It didn't really work out the way they planned it to, and so they're like, you know what, go free, sister, which I think is a good thing for them, because they could have held on to her and like we gonna struggle through this shit together. But anyway, I think going to Minnesota will be beneficial to her, right? Because her offensive load goes down, and so now all she has to worry about is defending, and she's surrounded by, like, Minnesota is the #1 team on defense right now, so she's surrounded by people to help her. So it's not going to be a one-on-one effort, so she can kind of focus in on it, and like she can focus on playing in transition and finishing in transition. So I think overall, I know I feel like a lot of people were really down on the trade for both sides, and I don't really understand why. I did love it for the Lynx at first, because I'm like, I don't think they really needed another guard, but like you don't turn down an elite perimeter defender. Like you kind of can't. So I don't know. I think it's gonna be a good trade for both sides, especially if Diamond really gets the opportunity to just play her way and just kind of play free. I don't know what her and Paige look like next to each other, or her and Enrique. I don't know how that lineup is gonna happen there, but I'm intrigued by the concept of it. In other news, the Messy Monday thing that I wanted to talk about was, I haven't read this article completely, so we're going to skim it a little bit, but the overarching idea is that the other day, the the Boston Globe reported that the Connecticut Sun are going to be sold to some like a team owner in Boston. I don't think it's the Celtics. I think it's the Celtics minority owner. I don't quite remember. But they were like, okay, the Connecticut Sun are moving to Boston. And then Kathy and them put out a statement. It was like, that's not how that works. They can't just approve. They can't just sell the team and move and relocate. We have a process to follow. Yada, yada, yada. And so everybody's like, oh, well, you know, why would Kathy stop them from doing this? And WNBA always get in their own way. And just like all of this nonsense. One, I think it was very important for the WNBA to say something. You can't just like let these people think they run you, girl. But now, an article for Front Office Sports by Annie Kospel reports that the original offer was shown to Kathy back in July. And I guess she ain't saying nothing. All right, so I'm just like read some of it. The title is, I don't know how to pronounce his name. We're gonna call him P. P offers to buy Sun was agreed to in July, never presented to WNBA Board of Governors. The record $325 million offer for the Sun made by Boston Group led by Celtics minority owner Steve P was already agreed to by the tribe in early July. Multiple sources familiar with the deal told Front Office Sports. The offer also included a future $110 million investment into a practice facility, which subsequently presented to the WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, but never to the league's Board of Governors. The exclusivity period expired after nearly a month, opening the door back up to other interested groups, including one led by former Milwaukee Bucks owner Mark Lacery. I don't know how to pronounce him either. Okay, skim ahead a little bit. They asked Jen Rosati, who's the president of the Sun. She said, ooh, where'd it go? I hate when I scroll and I lose it. Oh, here you go. I can't really comment on what the league may or may not want for the Sun. I will reiterate that they've been thoughtful about where they wanted the league to go and having ownership groups that are invested at the right level. I can't imagine that if there is an investment group at the right level in a great city, why anybody would not consider that to be a viable option. Also, the tribe originally paid $10 million for the Connecticut Sun, who were formerly the Orlando Miracle, to go to Unkinsville. The sale of the team and relocations are subject to approval by the WNBA Board of Governors. It gets to the part where the WNBA, like I said, they put out a statement, was like, we got to consider some stuff before we let y'all do what y'all gonna do. And after they picked Cleveland, Detroit, and Philly, Kathy said Houston was next. So I think she feels like Boston is jumping the gun a little bit. Which it kind of feels that way, but at the same time, like, why not? Like, we've been doing the whole WNBA in Boston thing for a while. In the same way they kept doing the WNBA in Toronto, in Canada, those like the past two, 3 seasons. And then you ended up giving a bid to Toronto Tempo. So, which, by the way, I still hate the name Tempo. Why did they pick that? I cannot. They're lucky the colors are so cute. They kind of ate that colorway. But other than that, why did we pick that name? I'm still not over that. Anyway, I don't understand. I mean, I guess I do understand from a perspective of like, there has to be some sort of order, and you don't just want people just coming in and just like making deals on the side, right? But the flip side of that is like, you've been having all these games in Boston. You've been trying to get fans riled up. You clearly see that there is some interest. I think both games in the past 2 years have sold out. The players want to play in Boston. Like, it, why are you? There's no reason to hold this up, especially since you already have a team. And not only that, the group is committed to the infrastructure that you said was important, right? Like, Kathy turned down bids from like Denver, Colorado, because she was like, they don't have the infrastructure. They were planning to play in a college arena, and Kathy said, we're not doing that no more. Which I'm glad she did say that. She's right about that. But again, if you have a team that's saying, hey, we have this place, we're gonna build these practice facilities, we're gonna make sure we have all these amenities figured out. And in some cases, you have the city behind you, like not just the city in terms of fans, but like the actual city. It's like, why would you turn that down? So I get why she's kind of like, hold on, but I feel like it'll probably happen anyway, because they've already said that the Connecticut Sun are like ready for them to play in Boston in 2027. Let's hope we get to 2027 and there's no, what do you call it, lockout. Another conversation for another day. Another conversation for another day. But I think it'll come through. And I feel like too, now they kind of have the pressure because everybody knows about it now. There's kind of pressure on the WNBA and the Board of Governors to somewhat concede. And be like, because they really have no excuse. Like, I get the, again, I understand Kathy saying we have rules and we got to follow things. But you have no excuse, kind of, at this point. So, Connecticut Sun to Boston. I kind of love that, but at the same time, I did want to go to Uncasville just to see it. So now, I will absolutely have to go next season. I have no choice but to go to Uncasville next season, just so I can see, you know, their last hoorah, you know, because I think it's going to happen regardless of what all of this debacle is. So, yeah, we have to do that. I also need to buy a Sanaya Rivers Rebel jersey, because that jersey, the Sun Rebel jersey, the Kesis, I'm probably pronouncing that word wrong, but that jersey is fire. It's probably one of the best Rebel jerseys in the league. So I need that before they go to Boston. I do wonder if they're going to change the name, because Orlando Miracle went to Connecticut Sun, and so I don't know, will they do Boston Sun? Somebody suggested that, and I was like, I kind of hate that. I hope they pick something else. But don't be like that other team in Boston. I think it was the National Women's Soccer League team who was trying to call themselves, they did that weird ad about balls. I don't know. It was weird. Just to call themselves like Boss Sport Nation or something super generic. It was like, girl, I know y'all did not pay a consultant company to come up with this. I could have came up with this. Anyway, that's that. That was the messy Monday stuff. You can never go a Monday in the WNBA without something going on. Yeah, that's kind of all. Is there anything else that I need to discuss? Oh, my thoughts on who I want to win the various awards since it's mid-season. Let me write them all down so that I don't miss one. Is that all? Maybe. Okay. Oh, I know which one I'm forgetting. So these are the people, this list that I'm about to give you are the people that I want to win, not the people that I think will win. Those are kind of Those are kind of different. And you can follow me on TikTok because I've been doing my top 3 picks are people that I think will probably win and not necessarily people that I want to win. The number 1 is who's the person that I want to win, but I am being fair for the most part. But since this my shit, these are the people that I want to win WNBA awards 2025. MVP, I really wanted to go to Alyssa Thomas. MIP, most improved, I wanted to go to Azurá Stevens. 6th Woman of the Year, I wanted to go to Naz Hillman. Depoy, I kind of actually wanted AT to win Depoy. I wanted Alyssa Thomas to win Depoy as well. But I would also accept Gabby Williams. At the beginning of the year, I said the Depoy is going to be somebody who hasn't won yet, and so I have to stick with that theme. So either AT or Gabby Williams, who's leading the league in assists right now. Rookie of the Year. Who do I actually want to win? I really don't have no dog in the fight. I think Paige will win, and so I'm okay with her winning. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I've never, I don't want to say that I wasn't a Paige fan, but like, she's not somebody that I followed super closely. But I feel like every time I watch Paige play basketball, I am just kind of in awe. I'm like honestly thoroughly impressed every time. And it's funny because it's like some of this stuff like I've seen her do in games already, but it's just like it's something kind of mesmerizing about it. So shout out Paige. Coach of the Year. Who do I want to win? I think my preseason pick was Stephanie White. And low key, the way that we've played without Caitlin Clark, low key give my sister her go ahead and give my sister her award. But if Stephanie White cannot win, I think I'm gonna go Carl Smesco. Yeah, the Atlanta Dream. Like, I expected them to be good, but just, I expected them to be a good team. I think I expected them to be top 4, and they are. And so, them being able to do that while also implementing Carl's system, like, I kind of got to give him his 10s. I think the Dream are a 4 seed right now. Yeah, I think they're a 4 seed. So yeah, I give it to Carl Smesco. I actually think I want him to win. If not for Stephanie White. And I think they do Sportsmanship Award. I don't know how they be picking the Sportsmanship Award. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I do not know how they pick them for that person. To me, it's always somebody very random. It's always somebody very random. And so the first person that's coming to my mind is actually Elizabeth Williams. So let's go, you will. And yeah, I think that's all the awards. And oh, one last thing I'll say, playoff predictions. This is just throwing this out here. Currently, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Aces are in 7th place. Valkyries are in 8th. The Mystics are in 9th. And the Sparks are in 10th. I need the Aces to be serious and stay in 7th place. I kind of need that Aces Liberty matchup in the first round for reasons that maybe I'll talk about on the podcast. Maybe I'll repeat them. But that last playoff spot, I can't lie, I've been hating on them all year, but I low-key would like it to go to the Sparks. They've shown me something. I maybe want them to get an inkling of success. If not the Sparks, the Mystics. But I kind of want the Sparks I kind of want it to be the Sparks because I need the Mystics to kind of go down so they can still be a lottery pick. They can get them a good pick for next year. So yeah, LA. Now that I'm supporting you, don't piss me off. And that's all I have, friends. We will talk again, maybe, probably in 2 weeks. I'm not gonna lie. See you guys.